There's a piece of paper sitting on somebody's kitchen counter right now with one number on it. $12,000. Turnkey, whole home standby generator, installed, permitted, tested, walk away and forget about it. One number, one line, $12,000. And that piece of paper is the single most expensive document most homeowners will ever sign without asking a follow-up question. Because it doesn't look like a document, it looks like a price tag. Here's what's underneath it. That $12,000 quote is actually 6 or 7 separate purchases, stapled together and handed to you as one. Some of those lines are honest. Some of them are wildly padded. And the one everybody assumes is the padded one, the generator itself, is the least marked up thing on the page. 11.6%. Hold on to that number. 11.6. It's the number that explains why the box in your side yard is not where your money went. 3 things get taken apart here. First, how that single number gets built. The 6 lines a turnkey quote hides, and what each one actually costs the person selling it to you. Second, the receipt. A named authorized dealer on a professional electrician's forum stating in writing exactly what dealers pay for these machines. Not an estimate, not an industry rumor, a dealer saying the number out loud. And third, held to the very end, the 3 questions. 3 sentences you say into a phone or across a kitchen table that force a $12,000 quote to come apart into its actual parts. They take about 10 seconds to say. They're worth thousands. That one is last, so if that's all you came for, it's at the end and it's free. Everything about to happen to this quote. The line by line, what's real and what's margin. That's the same work already done for every machine in your garage. It's called the No BS Buyer's Vault. 7 guides. The Warranty Dealer Playbook is the one that matters today. What voids your coverage, and how to make a dealer honor a claim he'd rather stall. The generator breakdown does the sizing math so you don't buy 9 kilowatts of machine you'll never use. One bad line on one quote costs more than this entire thing. $47. PrimeRundown.com. QR codes on screen, links pinned, and I won't bring it up again for the rest of this video. PrimeRundown.com. Let's get into it. A turnkey standby install is not a product, it's a bundle. Think of it like a restaurant that only sells one thing, the prefix. You get handed a price for dinner. You don't get told what the steak cost, what the wine cost, what the kitchen labor cost. You get one number, and the entire skill of the business is in deciding which parts of that number you're allowed to see. A standby install bundles 6 things. 1. The generator. An air-cooled unit. Usually somewhere between 18 and 26 kilowatt for a normal house. 2. The automatic transfer switch. That's the box that watches the utility, notices the power died, and flips your house over to the generator without you doing anything. 3. The gas. Either a natural gas line run from your meter to the pad or a propane run from a tank, priced by the foot. 4. The pad. The thing the generator sits on. Either a composite pad that ships with the unit or poured concrete. 5. The electrical. Conductor, conduit, breaker, load management module, and the labor to put all of it in. 6. The paperwork. Permit, inspection, and the commissioning. The load test and startup that make the warranty valid. 6 purchases, 1 number. And here's the part that decides everything that follows. Those 6 lines do not carry the same margin. Not even close. They are not marked up evenly, and the industry's entire pricing psychology depends on you assuming they are. Because when a homeowner looks at $12,000 and tries to guess where the fat is, the homeowner points at the generator. Every single time. It's the big object. It's the thing with the brand name. It's what you can look up on a big box website in 9 seconds. That instinct is wrong. And the number in the first 45 seconds of this video is why. June 8th, 2019. Mike Holt's Forum. If you're not in the trade, that's not a homeowner site. It's where licensed electricians go to argue about code. The thread is titled roughly, Where can generac residential dealers get the best deal on new generators? A poster identifying himself as an active dealer, generac, Kohler, and Mins, answers the question directly. He says dealer pricing used to be 25 to 30% off list. Then he gives the current structure. Entry-level dealers, the select tier, buy at 5% below minimum advertised price. Top-tier dealers, the premier tier, buy at 11.6% below minimum advertised price. Plus shipping. There's your number. 11.6%. That is the very best a top-tier authorized dealer does on the box. And then he says, the part that makes it a receipt instead of a data point. Online stores, warehouse clubs, and home improvement chains, he says, get just over 20% off, with freight included. Which means a dealer ordering one unit at a time can end up paying more, after shipping, than you would pay walking into a big box store and handing over a credit card at full retail. Read that twice. The authorized dealer, the guy with the sign and the training and the service van, is buying the same machine for more money than the retail chain sells it to you for. A second dealer in a 2022 thread on the same forum puts a plain number on it. Low volume, he says, the margin is about 4%. High volume, 10 to 15. And then this, he says he has to move any profit over to the install cost. That's the whole video in one sentence said by a dealer unprompted to other electricians 7 years ago. He isn't making money on the generator. He can't. So the money has to live somewhere else on that piece of paper. It lives in the labor line. Line 1, the generator. A 22 kilowatt generac Guardian carries a manufacturer's suggested price around $6,979. Street price is lower. Warehouse clubs have moved that same class of unit in the $5,500 to $5,700 range, and a 24 kilowatt has sat on a big box site at $5,847. A dealer at the top tier is in at around $4,500 to $5,000. That is a few $100s of margin on a 5-figure job. It is the thinnest line on the page. Line 2, the transfer switch. A 200 amp service rated generac switch with factory surge protection lists at $1,035.74. A plain service rated 200 amp runs about $889. Distributor cost is meaningfully under that. Most quotes don't show you this line at all. It gets folded into the word system. Line 3, the gas. This is where quotes start diverging violently. CSST. That's the flexible corrugated gas tubing. Runs a couple dollars a foot in material and $15 to $30 a foot installed. Black iron pipe is cheaper material and far more labor. A short run off an existing meter, 25 feet, $500 to $1,000. A 60-foot trenched run can hit $3,000. And there's a landmine inside that line. If your existing gas meter can't supply the added demand, and a 22 kilowatt unit wants roughly 326 cubic feet of natural gas an hour at full load, the utility has to upgrade the meter. That is not the dealer's charge. That's the utilities, and it varies from nothing to brutal. DTE Energy in Michigan charged a flat $485 until April 12, 2024. Then switched to billing labor and materials. One customer in Milford got a bill for $2,232. Same job, same utility, different month. Line 4, the pad. Usually included with an air-cooled unit. If someone's charging you $400 for a composite pad that shipped in the crate, that's a question worth asking. Line 5, electrical and labor. Conductor and conduit run $40 to $90 a foot installed. Load management module, $200 to $700. And the labor itself, a standard air-cooled install is 1 to 2 days with a 3 or 4 person crew. Call it 16 to 40 man-hours. At real journeyman wages, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics puts the national median electrician wage at $34.37 an hour as of May 2025, the actual wage cost of that crew is well under what the labor line says. Line 6. Permits. $100 to $500 depending on your town. Sometimes passed through at cost. Sometimes passed through with a handling fee nobody mentions. Now here's the preempted correction. Because somebody in the comments is going to be right, and I'd rather it be on the record, not every transfer switch on every quote is the same switch. A service-rated transfer switch contains the service disconnect, which eliminates a separate piece of gear on your wall. It legitimately costs more than a standard switch. So when your neighbor says he paid $2,000 less, he may not have bought the same thing. Model number and amperage, or you're comparing nothing to nothing. Here's how it actually goes. You call 3 companies. 2 show up. The first one walks the side of the house, looks at the meter, looks at the panel, takes a photo, and says he'll email something over. 2 days later, you get a PDF with your name on it, a picture of a generator, a paragraph about peace of mind, and one number. $12,400. Includes everything. You call the second company. $9,800. Also includes everything. And now you're stuck in the worst possible position, which is trying to decide whether a $2,600 difference means one guy is cheating you or the other guy is cutting corners on your house's electrical service. You have no way to tell. Neither quote is itemized. Both say includes everything. Everything is doing an enormous amount of work in that sentence. So you do what everyone does. You pick based on vibe. Which truck looked cleaner? Which guy called you back? Homeowners posting these quotes publicly report the same spread over and over. One report has a big box arranged install at $9,700 against a local contractor at $7,500 for the same 13 kilowatt unit. Same machine. $2,200 apart. Neither one broken out. That's the actual product being sold here, not a generator. Opacity. If you've already got a standby quote sitting in your email right now, tell me in the comments whether it was itemized or whether it was one number. I want to see the ratio. I read those. Now the part where I have to be fair, because this channel does not run on outrage. The title says 12,000 and 4,000. That spread does not survive contact with the evidence, and I'm not going to pretend it does. On a $12,000 job, the installer's real hard cost, unit at dealer buy-in, transfer switch, wire, gas materials, permit, crew wages, lands somewhere around $7,500 to $9,500. Not 4. That's gross margin of maybe $2,500 to $4,500 on a job that ties up 3 or 4 licensed people for 2 days. And then overhead eats it. The National Electrical Contractors Association's own benchmarking, reported in the trade press, breaks the average electrical contractor's sales dollar down to materials, direct labor wages, 13% total overhead, and net profit after taxes of about 3%. Other benchmarks put overhead at 16 to 22% of revenue and median net margin around 5 to 6%. 5%. On $12,000, that's $600 of actual take-home profit. Before the truck payment, that overhead is real. General liability insurance. Bonding. Workers' comp on people working inside a live 200 amp service. Permit chasing. Inspection revisits when the inspector doesn't like the clearance. Callbacks and warranty labor. Generac's own dealer warranty guidance pays warranty work at posted shop rate but capped by the manufacturer's flat rate schedule, which frequently sits under what that dealer charges a retail customer. So for years after your install, that dealer services your machine at a rate somebody else set. Nobody is running a criminal enterprise on your side yard. Markup is legal. Bundling is legal. Minimum advertised pricing is legal. It governs what a seller may advertise, not what he may accept. What's happening is narrower, and honestly more annoying than a conspiracy. The generator can't carry margin, because the retail chains sell it at the dealer's cost. So all the margin got pushed into the one line you can't price check, labor. And then labor got hidden inside a bundle, so you couldn't price check that either. That's not fraud. That's just a business that figured out you'd never ask. So, ask. The single highest value move in this entire process costs you nothing and takes one email, request the quote, itemized. Not can you explain the price. Itemized, unit, transfer switch, gas run, pad, electrical materials, labor hours, permit, 7 lines. What happens next is the information. A contractor who itemizes without complaint is a contractor whose numbers hold up, and you will usually find his labor line is defensible. A contractor who tells you he doesn't break it out that way, or that it's all one system price, has just told you where his margin is without saying a word. Then, 3 specific pushes. 1 caveat attached to each, because every one of these has a downside and you deserve both halves. Push 1. Ask him to price the unit as its own line, with the model number. The caveat: don't expect to win much here. You now know the box carries 4 to 15%. If you try to grind him down on the generator, you're grinding the thinnest line on the page and he'll make it back in labor. The point of this line isn't savings. It's calibration. It tells you whether his other numbers are honest. Push 2. Ask for the gas run and the transfer switch quoted separately, and ask whether the load management module is included. The caveat: gas is the one line where a higher number can be the honest number. Long run, hard trench, meter upgrade. That's real. Get the footage and the meter answer in writing, and if he says a utility meter upgrade may be needed, that's a good sign, not a bad one. That's the guy who's done this before. Push 3. Ask who pulls the permit, what the municipality's actual fee is, and whether he'll separate materials from labor on the invoice. The caveat: how sales tax lands on that split depends entirely on your state, and on whether it's a lump sum or separated contract, so this is a question for your quote and your state, not a guaranteed discount. But under a lump sum contract, the contractor pays tax on his material cost, and his markup on materials isn't taxed, which is exactly why some contractors will not separate it. Their answer tells you how the contract is structured, and that's worth knowing before you sign it. And the rule I actually use: get 3 quotes, and treat the itemization itself as the deciding factor, not the total. The lowest bidder who won't show you 7 lines is a worse deal than the middle bidder who will, because the middle bidder just handed you the ability to check every one of his numbers against the ones in this video. Here they are. 10 seconds, in this order. 1. Can you send that itemized? Unit. Switch. Gas. Pad. Electrical. Labor. Permit. 2. What's the model number and amperage of the transfer switch, and is load management included? 3. Who pulls the permit, and what's the town's actual fee? That's it. Those 3. And here's the tell, the thing you're actually listening for. You are not grading the numbers. You're grading the hesitation. A contractor who's priced this job honestly answers all 3 from memory in about 40 seconds, because he built the quote out of those parts and they're still in his head. A contractor who's holding a bundle together goes quiet, or says he'll have to check, or tells you it doesn't work like that. It works exactly like that. It's 6 purchases and a permit. He knows. The 3 questions don't get you a discount. They get you the one thing that piece of paper was designed to withhold, which is a second number to compare the first one to. $12,000, 1 line, turnkey, and every time somebody signs one of those without asking, the story stays the same, the markup nobody explains. Nobody explains it because nobody's ever been asked to. That's the entire trick. It isn't hidden. It's just unrequested. Ask, and it stops being a markup nobody explains. It becomes a markup somebody has to. YouTube thinks you'll like one of these 2 videos, so go ahead and click 1. And if you made it to the end, subscribe